Our first Action 4 forum is now in the history books. Last night we had candidates from U.S. Representative District 15 and District 34 face off in Wesco. The event was a huge success, and now we're looking ahead to our second one. Here to talk about the upcoming forum is our very own Ryan Ross.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for having us, Sergio Sanchez, KURV Radio 710. I'll tell you what, I'm eating. I've got beautiful ladies here, the Sunrise Crew. This is a pretty good shift.
So you're coming back from the morning show. You like waking up at this hour.
We'll talk about that after that. Let's talk about the political forum. We had a great time last night. Spirited debate. Congressional representatives, District 15 and 34, hit the stage, and we had great discussion on a variety of topics. One of them, gay marriage. Let's talk about that one, District 15. Dale Brigham, he sort of took a back step on that question a little bit, if you remember.
He believes, as Mr. Filamondela said, that marriage is between a man and a woman. But initially, while jumping out, I remember the answer. He jumped out and said he's against it, but then, okay, let me take a step back and say, okay, that's an individual's choice and doesn't believe that's the role of government.
Is that appeal to voters down here?
How much time do I have to think about this one? I would say no. That's just my opinion. I think South Texas is a deeply religious, deeply Catholic and Christian community. For them, the definition of marriage is a man and a woman. For the overwhelming majority of the population, whether it is a role of government, folks that tend to examine what is the role of government would say, in my opinion correctly, no, that is not a role of government. It's something we need to take a step back and re-examine and debate again.
For those of you who don't know, Sergio Sanchez co-moderated the event along with Steve Chandler with the Rio Grande Guardian. And this Thursday, we have another political forum on Action 4 News, streaming live on valleycentral.com. And it'll also be heard on KURV Radio. It is at the Visitors Bureau Convention Center in Wesco. It is going to be at 5 o'clock, going all the way to 7 o'clock, and we have state representative candidates here. What do you expect coming up for Thursday's political forum?
Money, money, money. Money for schools. Debating the issue of how much money to put back into the cookie jar for school funding. Over $5 billion taken out in the last legislative session. You have another legislative session coming up next January. So school funding will be at the very top. Another issue that's received a lot of attention is funding for reimbursements for Medicaid, for pharmacists, and for doctors. The new formula that the state is using for that, I expect medical issues and medical funding to be
less fraud in the Rio Grande Valley when it comes to that stuff. It's just run rampant recently.
Yeah, well, that came up last night on the federal side as well. And it's the truth. If you take the time to examine how much waste and fraud exists in the federal expenditures, it is easy to find at least a third, at times a third, of the money. Every dollar that is spent on the federal level is wasted in some fashion. Duplication, triplication of services, and just outright corruption. And it's something that should be addressed in order to better manage the federal dollars and state dollars.
It'll be very interesting to see here what the candidates have to say come Thursday. And we are inviting the public to come out and see it live. We'd love to have you there. It's about getting informed as we head to the general election, less than 2 weeks away. Can you believe that? So we want to make sure people hit the polls, and early voting is underway through November 2nd. Again, we hope to see you out there Thursday in Wesco. Mary?